Hello, my name is Madison Jimenez, and today I am going to give you a few key points on how to make a great speech. So, number one, 6 attention grabbers to start your speech. So, that could be facts and statistics, that can be using a story, asking a question, using a quotation, humor, a joke. You can do a joke about yourself. You can do something that you've experienced, something that you're going through at that moment. When you do a fact and statistic, you need to be sure to have all your research lined out and make sure that it correlates to what your speech is going to be about. When you use a story, you need to be sure your story has a beginning, middle, end, and a life lesson, of course. You always want your audience to feel that what your speech is going to be about is what your story is about, something that you've experienced, something to get them kind of thinking like, well, that's an interesting story. And then they start thinking about things that they've gone through that goes along with your speech. If you're going to use a quotation mark, you need to be sure that the quote you're giving is actually from the person that you're saying gave the quote. You don't want to say, Martin Luther King Jr. said this, and it was actually somebody else. You want to be sure that that person is who wrote that quote. Whenever you start off with a question, you need to make sure that the question isn't something for your audience to answer right then and there. You want it to be something that they kind of think about to themselves and can answer within themselves. When giving an informative speech topic, you don't want to Google what an informative speech topic is, because they are going to give you 100,000,001 things. And you want to be sure that the topic you're going to speak about is something that you've personally been through, something that you have knowledge about, something that you can give information about. You don't want to be persuasive to your audience when choosing your topic. You want to not choose something controversial like the presidential debate or abortion. You want it to be, something that you've experienced, that you've dealt with yourself, and something that you kind of know about. You don't want to have a off topic, something that you've never been through. Like, for instance, if you don't have children, you don't want to talk about what it's like to go through having a child if you've never experienced it before. Your topic should be narrowed to one topic to where you can research it. It needs to be informative, focused, and something that your audience can relate to. You don't want to talk about skateboarding and half your audience has never even skateboarded before. You want something that a little bit of something everybody's been through. Preview statement. So you want your to give your audience a little bit of an idea of what your topic or your speech is going to be about. You don't want to give them all the information all at once. Something just that they can kind of know what your speech is going to be about, to keep them intrigued, to keep them wanting to know more. You want to give single word implements of what your topic is going to be about. Like, for instance, if you're going to be talking about gardening, you're just going to say, first we're going to just, my topic is going to be about, soil, sunlight, and precipitation. And you want to pause in between each one so your audience kind of knows, like, this, and this is what's going to be discussed. And as soon as you get done saying that, you want to go ahead and start off with the first thing that the first key point that you said. You don't want to keep lagging on and talking about something totally different, and then your audience is going to forget about what those key points were. You also want to be sure to have a killer intro. You want your audience to want to know more. You want your audience to, be excited to know what your topic is going to be about. Be, anxious to want to sit there and listen. You don't want to talk about, your introduction, and then your audience is going to be on their phone looking down the whole time because what you told them isn't interesting to them. You know, you want your hook is what is going to grasp the attention of your audience, and then from there, you know, you want to transition your hook to what your topic is going to be about. You know, go in from your humor, you know, little joke at the introduction, or your question or storyline, or whatever you're going to do for your introduction, and go in, you know, to transition to what your topic is going to be about. You know, now after you do all of those things, you want to introduce yourself. You know, my name is, this is, you know, what the speech is going to be about. You know, you just want to give them a brief, you know, little sneak peek of what the rest of your topic is going to be at. You want to let your audience know what they will gain from your speech. You want, you know, you want to let them know why listening to your speech is going to be informative to them, or, you know, going to persuade them to, you know, buy whatever you're selling, or, you know, do the 3-day challenge that you want them to do. You always want to be sure that you grasp your audience's attention anytime you're making a speech. So those are the, you know, key points that to making a good speech. Now, for my informative speech, my topic is going to be about grieving. More specifically, like grief and the stages of grieving. So there's 5 stages of grief, and I'm going to, you know, specifically talk about how everyone experiences them differently. So the reason why I chose grief is because I recently just lost my brother. October will make a year that he has, you know, unexpectedly, all of a sudden, was taken from us. And not everybody knows about the stages of grief, you know, that you endure during that time. Grief is a long process. There's never ending to grief. And not many people know how to express those feelings. And I feel like it would, you know, help people understand a little bit more how to go through those processes of grief. You know, I wasn't the only one that went through the grief. My children also went through the grief, and I seen that. So, you know, coming from me trying to be strong for my kids so they don't see me grieving and I let them grieve, and also my husband, it just, I didn't fully understand grief myself until I went through, you know, I and my family went through those type of that type of situation. So I feel like, you know, it's a good topic to discuss and, you know, inform people on, you know, it's okay to cry, it's okay to, you know, be happy, it's okay to move on, it's okay, and it's gonna be okay. But that is what I am going to discuss in my informative speech, and my name is Madison Jimenez. Thank you.